This set seems a little difficult, but it's not very difficult. You just needed to have the courage to draw a two-Venn diagram, two-set Venn diagram multiple times. So if you haven't done it, draw a set of diagrams. Those who prefer A or B, draw this for all the 500 people. Similarly, replicate this for the ones who like Sunita. So I'm just giving you a clue before I read it. And draw a similar one again for those who prefer Ragini. So this is a clue, try this. I'll do it a little differently over here, but first let us read through it. So there are two proposals and the student does not necessarily support either of the two. So that the 500 is not the union, that could be someone who doesn't like A nor likes B. However, each of the student would either prefer one of the two candidates. So the 500 will be divided into two camps, that of Sunita's camp and Ragini's camp, right? A survey was conducted amongst 500 and this was the following observations. So you try the Venn way. I'm going to do it a little differently. The way I'm going to do it is, when there are just two set Venn diagrams, no, you can even use a table. So I'm going to say there are people who prefer only A. There are people who prefer only B. There are people who prefer both. And then there are people who prefer neither. And now this is going to be divided as amongst Sunita followers, amongst Ragini followers, and I also have a third thing for all the students. A third row for all. So I know that the total is 500. Now, how do you represent 250 who like A? Now, who like A is going to be only A and both. These two together is going to be 250. Similarly, only B and both. This will also be 250, these two together. Now this might look scary, but it is not so scary. It simply is if I know one number, I know the other. If I know any one, I know the other. So that's taken care of, 250, 250. Okay. Amongst the 200 students who prefer Sunita, so Sunita's camp is 200. So what we understand even before I read is Ragini's camp will be the rest 300. Amongst these, 80% support proposal A. Same idea. 80% of this is 160 will prefer A. So these two together is going to be 160. Okay, and hence the other two together, these two cells together is 160. Hence the other two cells together is going to be the balance 40. Because the row has to add up to 200. 160 plus 40 is 200, right? So there's a lot of, the counterpart data out over here, like 200 there, 300 here, 160 here, 40 over here. Amongst those who preferred Ragini, 30% supported A. The same idea again. Those who supported A, 30% of this 90. And if these two cells together are 90, then the other two cells, let me just take it here. Other two cells have to be the counterpart, that is 210. So I'll write it here, 210. Okay, does it look a little, right? So this is also taken care of now. 20% of those who supported proposal B. B is B and both, okay? 20%. How many are there? These are 250. So 20% of 250, 50 prefer Sunita. So out of these 250, 50 prefer Sunita. Okay, so I know that these two together are 50. Look here carefully, right? These two together. So there is a lot of linkages, and if these two are 50, then this and this has to be 150. Again, I'm not marking it this time, but then there's a lot of information. Even if I want to mark it, let me just mark it here. And that's not all. If these two together are 50, do I know that in the second row, these two together have to be 200? These two together have to be 200 because this and this together has to be 250. Okay, so that is also taken care of. 40% of those who did not support proposal B, that is the first and the last. did not support, that total is again 250, mind you, who did not support B. Because, right, if these two is 250, these two are also 250, right? 40% of those is going to be 100. These 100 preferred Ragini. So of these two, 100 are going to prefer Ragini. These two together should be 100. Okay, and out of 250, if 100 is here, then this and this have to be 150, the balance. Yeah, and that is already I have found out. So there's redundancy over here. In fact, if you can identify the redundancy in your own way, you have understood this thoroughly. So there's a lot of summation here. It's just a time key. I need one cell and I can find everything. And that one cell I get from every student who preferred Sunita and supported proposal B. Okay, that is these both. Also supported proposal A. So anyone who preferred, so there's only B 0. And the moment you get only B 0, you start your this. So this is going to be 50. So if this is 0, this is 50. If that is 50 and this is 160 together, this is 110. So 160, so this is 40. Done. Right? So we got one number from there. Okay, one row. Okay, and let's see. Among those who preferred Ragini, 20% did not support any of the proposal. 20% of this, that is 60, did not support. The moment you get that, there are so many things. This is 100, so this has to be 40. Okay, these two has to be 210, so this has to be 150. Okay, 150. These and this has to be 90, so this has to be your balance 50. Check this, that is 200, it matches up. Check this, it matches up. Do the total, this is 150, this is 150, this is 100, this is 100. Does it match up? Check for yourself. Why doesn't the total become 500 over here? Okay, does it? Yeah, 300, 400, 500. Perfect. Yeah, so everything number you have got, suddenly everything falls into picture. You might be scared with these linkages, but that is one of the learning from this cell. So let's answer the question. Among the students who surveyed, who supported A, what percentage preferred Sunita for the union? Who preferred A is 150 and 100, 250. Out of that, how many preferred Sunita? 160. 160 out of 250. So into 4, 64% should be the answer. What percentage among the students who surveyed proposal A, what percentage of the students surveyed who did not support proposal A, that is out of 250, preferred Ragini as a student president? Who did not prefer A? Who did not prefer A? Out of these, how many preferred Ragini? 150 and 60, that is 90. 90 of those did not prefer. Na? So this is 160 and 210. This is 210 and 40 preferred Sunita. So 210 out of 250. So the second is 210. So into 4, that is going to be 84%. What percentage of students surveyed who supported both A and B preferred Sunita as the union? Who preferred both 100, Sunita 50%, 50-50. For how many of the students surveyed? How many of the surveyed supported proposal B? How many of the students surveyed who supported must be did not support proposal A? Okay, how many of the people surveyed supported B, did not support A, so this is only B, and preferred Ragini as student. So only B, where are we? Only B, 150 preferred this. So 150 is the answer here.